OCO, it's the native dev here again, and today we're going to talk about saving our work. However, before we save our work, there's one thing that we need to do, and that's called staging our work. You can think of it like when you go to your emails and you're going to delete emails, but you want to select which emails to delete before you hit the delete button, instead of just having one button that is delete all the time. Sometimes you do want to delete everything, but not always. Just the same here. Sometimes you want to save everything that you've done, but not always. Sometimes you want to pick and choose the parts that you want to save. And we're going to look at what that is and how to do that today. And so to get started, I'm going to refresh from the last video. If we do git status here, we're going to see that there is a modified file and it says changes not staged for commit. And if we do git diff again, we're going to see that here's what we've added. We've added this empty line here. We see the plus sign on this empty line, and then we added one more line that says we edited this locally. How cool. And so those are the two things that we want to try and save now. But again, before we save it, we have to stage it, which is, again, just like selecting it before we delete all our emails, we're going to select this to be saved. And there's two different ways we can do that. I'm going to show you them, both of them here. And just like I said, sometimes you want to go ahead and save everything, which in our case, that is what we want to do. So let's go ahead and save, select everything ready to be saved. And to do that, we can do this command. It's called git add all, and that's what this period is, git add all. So it's git add period. And if we do that, it doesn't look like anything changed here, but if we do git status again, we'll still see the modified test file, but here it was red and now it's green. And the other thing that we'll see that's different is here it says changes not staged for commit, and here it says changes to be committed. So that now we know that this file has been selected and all the changes in this file have been selected. And we can also check git diff again, and that will return nothing because there's nothing that isn't staged. There are no changes that are not staged right now. Everything has been staged or selected, ready to be saved. I am going to undo that right now just so we can see the other way that we can save, and that's what this command is. It's just going to get rid of everything that's staged. And again, we can now see if we go as git status, that's red again. Git diff will now return an actual diff, which is the same diff we saw earlier, the empty line, and we edited this locally. How cool. So what's the other way? The other way is to select the files that you want to actually save one by one. So let's do that. The command here is git add. So it's still git add, but instead of the period for all, we're going to do -p, which means path. So we're going to git add, and we're going to put a path to a file that we want to add. And one way to do that easily, which I've showed before, is we can go to that file and we can go to our test repo, and this test file, we'll just click and drag this into the command console to terminal, and it just pastes the file path there for us. So what this is saying now is like git add the file at this path. So this is telling us we're going to give you a path of a file to add, and that's this test file that we did. If I go ahead and hit return now, it's going to ask me if we want to stage this hunk, and it's this right here. We can see the diff here, the same diff that we saw earlier, those two changes. I'm just going to hit Y for yes, because in our case we want to add all the changes that are in the file. If there's different hunks, which you can learn about later, it will take you hunk by hunk, and you say yes or no to each of them. I'm going to say Y for yes and hit return. And now it is staged. And now if we do git status, we'll see the same thing that we saw earlier, where it is now green. Still says modified test file, but it's now green, and it says changes to be committed, this file. And then if I get diff, it's going to be empty. There's no diff. Nothing is changed locally that is not staged and ready to commit yet. And so in the next video, now that we know how to select what's going to be saved, because remember, this isn't all the way saved yet, this isn't committed. It's just, we've just selected the check mark. We've said we want to save this. And so in the next video, we'll learn how to save it.